Truth for Las Vegas Evangelistic Outreach Ministries exists to share, equip, and pray.
So this is Rod Grubb. I'm with Truth for Las Vegas. I'm here today at Manzanita Baptist Church in Kingman, Arizona. And I'm with Mary and Don this afternoon to discover their impressions of the just completed one-day crash course, evangelism crash course, Conquer Your Fear, Share Your Faith. So my first question to you would be, how did you learn about this Way of the Master crash course? How did you learn about it?
From Manzanita Baptist Church.
It was advertised and,
yes.
and you... Okay.
And we've heard about Great Comfort before.
Okay.
So we were impressed. We said this is something that we have to do. And we changed our schedule and said this is it for us.
Wow, we're so appreciative of that. That's good. Thankful. Can I ask you, what did you think about your Way of the Master training now that you've completed it? What do you think? What are your thoughts?
I like using the law to convict people of sin and then bring the gospel of Jesus Christ. There are other ways of bringing the gospel of Jesus Christ to the people, but this is one of the way that could be very effectively used in evangelizing.
I find it very, 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 very good because I've never used that before, and I think this, like my wife said, this is another way that we can reach the lost and share with them.
So basically, it's another tool in your toolbox.
Yes. It
broadens your opportunities to share.
Yes.
Super. Well, we thank you so much for being here today, and that's all the questions I have for you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Rod with Truth for Las Vegas. I'm here today at Manzanita Baptist Church, Kingman, Arizona. I'm with Ezekiel to discover his impressions of our just completed one-day Way of the Master evangelism crash course, Conquer Your Fear, Share Your Faith. And so, Ezekiel, I would, you're familiar with the Way of the Master. Would you recommend this course to your friends?
Absolutely.
All right. And do you have any comments or insights you would like to share today regarding this training?
Yeah, it's really good because it brings the conviction of sin through the law, and it really it's a humbling experience. Even just coming to it it's a humbling experience, and brings conviction even as a Christian. And even as a Christian, I think we have to. It's good to hear the gospel. It just it brings humility to the atmosphere, to the people. So it's I really like this course because it deals with true and false conversions, and that's something that needs to be understood today, and something that's completely neglected. People don't understand that there is such a thing as false conversions. Unfortunately, many people in the church are not converted, and so it's imperative that they hear that. And I know people personally who got saved through hearing Ray Comfort's, Kirk Cameron's evangelism course.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and that's my questions for you today.
All right.
Thanks.
You.
I'm Rod. I'm with Truth for Las Vegas. I'm here today at Manzanita Baptist Church here in Kingman, Arizona, with Micah to discover his impressions of our just completed one-day Way of the Master evangelism crash course, Conquer Your Fear, Share Your Faith. So I'm going to ask you, Micah, how did you learn about this Way of the Master crash course today?
How did I learn about coming here?
Yes.
Well, we came in a drama ministry, and so this is one on the events, so we just decided to come and join.
And your drama ministry is what? New Life?
New Life Drama Company.
And you're out of where?
We're out of Scottsdale, Arizona, and we're just a traveling ministry that goes around and travels to different churches.
Okay. And what did you think about your Way of the Master training today?
It was amazing. Growing up, I was growing up in a street ministry family. We always go out to abortion clinics and parades and all kinds of stuff. Basically, we all do. But I never actually had the official training other than just the Bible, which is good, but it doesn't really show you exactly step by step how to approach strangers and friends and family. So this was really great because me personally, I was a bit nervous. I'm not very good at approaching strangers. So it gave me a lot of confidence and just enough confidence to reach out and share the gospel.
So what part of the course or session did you feel was most useful today?
I think the most useful was Hell's Best Kept Secret. I think, yeah, Hell's Best Kept Secret.
Okay. And why?
Just because it was the most eye-opening, and like it really was like conflicting you. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna ask a question about it. Wasn't it that was the one that was like, if you don't have this fruit of the Spirit, you're not really a Christian?
That's actually true-false conversion.
Okay, sorry. And that one is it.
That's the one. Okay.
So my favorite was the true or false conversions, just because it was the most convicting for me personally. Like if you're not have all the fruits of the Spirit, then you really have to question if you're really saved, and so you really know the fruits of others. I mean, the salvation of others based on their own fruits. So that was good.
Okay. Would you recommend this course to your friends?
Oh, I would highly recommend The Way of the Master to any of my friends and family, just so they know the Great Commission is to share the gospel with anyone, and we all need to learn and have the confidence to do so. So, yeah.
All right. Appreciate your comments.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Rod with Truth for Las Vegas. I'm here today at Manzanita Baptist Church here in Kingman, Arizona, with Pastor Pete to discover his impressions of our just completed one-day Way of the Master Evangelism Crash Course, Conquer Your Fears, Share Your Faith. So, Pastor, from a pastor's perspective, what do you see as the biggest benefit to using the Way of the Master as a method of evangelism?
Well, I think that most evangelical Christians today shy away from evangelism. They think it's the job of the church or the job of the pastor, the professional, and they leave it up to the guys that have gone to school or seminary to do the evangelism. There's also another misnomer, I think, that in the evangelical churches, especially with the seeker movement and so forth, I'm kind of showing my cards here, but that it's the job of the church to invite the seeker, who then can hear the gospel presentation through the slick presentation of the pastor or the music team or whatever it is on a Sunday morning. And it's the job of the congregation to invite those people to the church where the pastor can then give the presentation. In my opinion, that is exactly backwards. The responsibility of the church is to equip the people to do the work of ministry. And so as a pastor, my job isn't to use Sunday morning to dumb down the gospel so that people can bring their friends for me to be able to share the truth of the message of Christ. The church gathered, its responsibility is to equip the people to do the work of the ministry. So when it does scatter after the morning worship service, those people are equipped to be able to take the Word of God out to their friends and relatives, associates and neighbors, and share the truth of the gospel with them. That's not happening. And as we heard today, only 2% of evangelical churches and people who call themselves Christians are actually sharing their faith. So whatever I can do to help people to understand the need for their individual responsibility to fulfill the Great Commission, because of the great commandment to love the Lord our God with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength, to love our neighbor as ourselves, that's going to multiply my ministry hundreds of times over. So I was a little dismayed that more didn't come from our church, but that's the malady of a pastor. We're always looking at who's not here instead of who is. And I was grateful for the number that came, but I wish that there had been more that had come to hear the simplicity of the presentation today. As usual, pastors give a long answer, so you can edit this.
I don't know. We wrote a long answer. A couple more questions. Would you care to comment on the biblical strengths of using the Way of the Master evangelism?
Yeah, I like this because it's not appealing to the intellect. It's not appealing to the emotions. It's not even appealing to the heart. It's appealing to the conscience. And the scripture makes it plain that the purpose of the law is to be a schoolmaster, to bring us to Christ. It doesn't do anything but condemn us. And once we understand that we have broken the law, and by definition sin is lawlessness, then we can come to a place of hearing the message of grace. Unfortunately, again, in most of our churches, we hear the message of grace, of love, of mercy, but we don't hear of the fact that God is angry with the sinner every day. We don't hear the fact that the justice of God needs to be meted out before the mercy of God can be realized.
Two more questions.
Yes.
Would you recommend this way of the master training to other pastors or Christians?
Most definitely. I think that the one-day seminar does a good job of presenting the scope of false conversions, of the need for evangelism, the need for personally being able to share your faith in a personal style. We have a thing here at our church that we call from Mission to Miracle, called the Prayer Care Share model. But the fault of that is that if a person isn't equipped to be able to share with somebody on the street on a one-to-one basis, they're probably not going to share their faith in a Prayer Care Share model. The idea is pray for people that you love, look for opportunities to care for them and care about them, and then win the opportunity to be able to share and speak into their life when that opportunity presents itself. But most people, if they're not equipped to be able to share in a short term, aren't going to share in a long term.
Yeah, so when it comes time for crunch time to actually share, they're not able.
They're going to call the pastor to come and share the message. They're going to call the elder. They're going to call somebody else, but they're not going to do it themselves because they don't feel confident. So if you can be confident in the street evangelism, then it's just a no-brainer to be able to do it with a friend or a relative.
I'm going to ask you to talk about Truth for Las Vegas and the teaching team today. Impressions.
Yeah, well, you guys did a great job. Very personable, gracious. At the end, that was a really good thing to open it up to Q&A for anybody that didn't get it or didn't understand the concepts, to be able to clarify issues that maybe didn't come to the surface like maybe they could have or should have. There's just so many things you could have gone into, but just the simplicity of the gospel, the presentation of the gospel, and then letting people come to their own conclusions at the end. So, well done.
Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you.